Welcome to the Genian NAC video release notes for version 5031, new features and enhancements. The features and enhancements covered in this video will include the Genian NAC Slack integration for security automation. AD Agentless SSO feature is now available from an on-prem sensor. Policy server and sensor CLI configurations are both now available via the UI. IP range and wildcard searches have been added to log filters. Enhanced custom dashboard tabs and sharing has been added. Node group conditions selection and viewing enhancement has been added. And additional options for agent deletion have been added. In this video, we will be demonstrating how to integrate Genian NAC with Slack. The purpose of the integration is for Genian NAC to send Webhook posts for certain log events to the specified channel. In order to complete this is a three-step process. First, we have to create a Slack app. Second, we have to integrate the Slack app with the desired Slack channel. And last, we need to configure Genian NAC to send Webhook posts utilizing the app to the desired Slack channel. To demo this integration, we've created a Slack channel called Genian NAC Webhook. This will be the channel that the app will be integrated with. So the first step will be to create the app in Slack. For that, we head over to api.slack.com/apps. Click on the Create an App button. Give the app a name. Select your workspace and click Create App. From there, click on Incoming Webhooks and enable the webhooks. Scroll down and click on Add New Webhook to Workspace and select your channel. Click Allow. You should see a success message here, and if you go back to Slack, you will see that the app has been successfully integrated with the channel. So to recap, we've created the Slack app, we've integrated the Slack app with the desired channel. Now it is time to configure Genie NAC to utilize the Slack app and send webhook posts whenever certain log events occur. For that, we'll head over to the Genie NAC UI. We'll click on Log. There will be several log filters that we've created over in the left-hand window pane. We'll be using two of these log filters to demo this feature. First will be New Device Detected. This log filter identifies any time a new MAC address connects to the network. It includes the MAC address and the vendor. The second will be System Logins. This log filter logs any time an admin logs into the system. It includes the name, IP, etc. If we click on Edit for this log filter, it will bring up the log filter settings. If you scroll down, there are various notification and export options. We'll be looking at the webhook configuration for the purposes of this demo. Here we've got this configured to post webhooks. We have a URL to use for the post. For this, we're going to want to grab the URL from our Slack. So the webhook URL is right here. Just click Copy. And paste that into the URL field. You can leave the character set at default. We have documentation on how to configure this, but the post data will include the full message of the event, and you'll see in here we've got the name of the app as well as the Slack user ID that was used to create the app. select the appropriate content type, then click Update. Now let's review the configuration for the other log filter. New device detected. Click on the Edit button to expose the configuration. Scroll down. Here you have an identical configuration. We're just going to ensure that the URL for the app is updated for the app we just created. Everything else is identical, and we will click Update. Next, we're going to do a test. So let's start with the system logins first. Again, anytime there's a login event where someone logs into the system, this is logged here, and with the configuration we just applied, it should send a webhook post through the Slack app to the desired Slack channel. To test this, I'm going to log out of the system and log back in. So now what we'll do is we'll head over to the Slack channel, and there's the message. So you have the app name here. The Genian NAC log filter utilized the Slack app and posted this log event to Slack. So now anytime someone logs into the system, we'll know who logged in, what their role is, and also what their IP address is. Now let's head back over to the Genian NAC UI, and we will test our second log filter. So we'll go back over to log. And again, we have the new device detected log filter. So anytime a new MAC address is detected, that information should be posted through the Slack app to our Slack channel. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger an event under Management and Node. It will bring up an active node list. I'm going to take an active node and I'm going to delete the node from the system. This should trigger a rediscovery of the node, and it will be shown as a new device detected. So 50.1 is gone. If I refresh this, it should show up again. There it is. So that should have triggered a redetection of that device. We'll head over to Slack, and there's the corresponding message. So in real time, when that device was detected, it sent over the MAC address and vendor into our Slack channel. So we've tested both of those log filters. These are just two examples, but there's really an unending number of different scenarios that you could send Slack notifications for, different system anomalies that occur or warnings that occur. Anytime a device is changed from one platform to another. So really any log events here, either system admin related to traffic on the network, related to specific users on the network, nodes on the network, IP addresses, device types, enforcement policies. Anytime a status like that changes, switch port information, really anything that you want to alert, you can send these alerts to Slack through this integration. You could set up different channels, for example, for different types of alerts and assign different administrators and support personnel to those channels to get real-time notifications in Slack, no matter where they're located. This video will discuss the feature enhancement to the Active Directory Agentless Single Sign-On feature. This feature utilizes WMI from the Nack policy server to the Active Directory server to confirm authenticated users in Active Directory. Using this diagram as a reference, we can see that this could be problematic for a cloud policy server deployment. This is because the policy server located in the cloud would need to make WMI queries to the Active Directory server, which may be located on-prem. This may require the customer to open firewall rules or expose the Active Directory server to the outside world. The feature enhancement allows system administrators to change the source of the WMI query from the cloud policy server to an on-prem sensor. With that option selected, the source of the WMI query would be the sensor which is on-prem to the Active Directory which is on-prem. This would negate the requirement for the customer to expose their Active Directory server to the outside world. Let's take a look at how this feature is configured in the Genian NAC UI. Here we are viewing the UI of a cloud-based policy server. From the main UI, if we click on System, we can see the components that make up this system. Here is the cloud-based policy server, and here are two on-prem sensors. This information will be useful as we look at the next configuration option. Under Preferences, Authentication Integration, you will see the configuration for the Ldap server connection. Enabling SSO assumes that Ldap connectivity has already been established and tested and is functional. To enable SSO, change Single Sign-On from off to on, scroll down, and click Update. As noted previously, this will enable single sign-on. However, the source of the WMI queries, if not modified, will be from the cloud policy server to Active Directory. To change this to a sensor which is located on-prem, under Preferences, scroll down under General and click on Laboratory. From there, you will see a Connect to AD-SSO Server From option. If this is left with nothing selected, the default is the source of the WMI query will come from the policy server, which may be in the cloud. If you click on the drop-down, you'll see any configured sensors in the drop-down list. If you select one of these sensors and then click Update, now WMI queries for AD-SSO will be sourced from the on-prem sensor instead of the cloud policy server, thereby excluding any requirement for the customer to expose their Active Directory to a cloud policy server or any public IPs. This video will demonstrate how to view both policy server and sensor configurations from the UI. From the main UI, click on System. There, you will see all the components of this particular system. Two components. First, you have the policy server component. Second, you have a network sensor component. To view the individual CLI configurations for these components, click on the IP address of the component, then click on the System tab. Scroll down. Under the CLI local.conf, you will see the CLI configuration for that particular component. That's the policy server, and this is the sensor. Again, click on the System tab, scroll down, and you can view the full CLI configuration. This negates the requirement to SSH directly to the component and view the configuration through a terminal. This video will demonstrate the feature of IP range and wildcard searches in the Genian NAC logs. From the main UI, click on Log. Once inside of Logs, click on Add Filter. In the IP field, our first example will be a wildcard search for a particular subnet. The results will only be IPs in that particular network. You can switch the network, confirm the results change, which they do. You can also do a range search in any octet. This will return both networks or any network within the range. And finally, you can even do a double range search. So any network within the range in the third octet and any host within the range of the last octet. As you can see here, we have results from both networks, but only within the range specified within each network. This video will demonstrate the feature of creating custom dashboards on a per user basis. From the main UI, click on Tools and Create Dashboard. Select the layout, click OK, and a new dashboard will be created. To add widgets to the dashboard, click on Tools, Add Widget. Here you can select from over 120 widgets for what you would like to see in the dashboard. Once the widgets are added, everything will show up in the dashboard based on the widgets you have selected. You can also export the information inside of the custom dashboard that was created. This export creates a report showing all the different data inside of the various charts and/or widgets that you've selected for your custom dashboard. You can select these based on specific criteria to meet whatever environment you're looking to monitor and/or report on. Note that by default, other users are able to view this dashboard tab. If you would like to make it private, simply click on Tools, Edit, and change Share to Off, and click Save. Now you will be the only user that can see this dashboard, and other users logged into the system under a different account will not see this dashboard tab. This video will demonstrate an enhancement to the Add Conditions feature inside of a node group. First, we'll take a look at the previous format when taking this step. From the main UI, click on Policy, and then click on Node under Group. If we go inside of a group and attempt to add a new condition, you'll see a format like this. The criteria is in a drop-down that you can view when adding a single condition. But once you add that, if you want to add multiple conditions, you have to view the list again independently and select the new condition. Now let's look at the new version. Again, we click on Policy, and then Node under Group, and click on a group we would like to edit. Here's the new format. So the layout is a little bit different. Also, when you go to add a condition, now you can view the entire list while you add multiple conditions. Inside of each list for the criteria, there's also enhancements, including buttons to click to change specific settings inside of each condition. To view the agent deletion method feature enhancement, from the main UI, click on Preferences, then scroll down and click on Agent. There you will find the agent deletion method field. There are three options available to choose from: use authorization code, without authorization code, and not allowed. The default option of use authorization code is historically how this feature functioned. With this option selected, the end user would have to provide a code provided by the system administrator in order to delete the agent from their system. Without authorization code now allows users to delete the agent without an authorization code provided by the system administrator. The final option of not allowed prohibits the user from deleting the agent from their system, and that option will not show up in the window of the agent. In addition to what was covered in this video, many other improvements have been made to the product with this release. To view additional release notes information, visit docs.genians.com.